what I would like to do as Foreign Minister is to talk about the role of Gujarat and vibrant Gujarat in connecting India with the world. I think most of you would be aware that Gujarat has been an economic leader of this country for a long time. Its people are legendary for their entrepreneurship, for actually their risk-taking potential, for their willingness to explore opportunities all over the world. And probably there's no country in the world where there are no Gujaratis. And sometimes I suspect that's the reason why they chose to send the foreign minister to parliament from their state. But the fact is that in many ways, because Gujarat has been the pioneer, the performer, the leader, an economic event in Gujarat has a very special significance. So anybody coming there in many ways is looking not just at the performance of India, but also the future prospects and possibilities of India. So that's a very, very powerful reason why all of you should be there at Vibrant Gujarat. Now, having said that, I myself have attended a few in the past. I know some of you have obviously done so as well. And it's a reasonable question to ask that what is different today than the previous events? What has really changed? And my sense is that if one looks at the last 10 years, a whole series of initiatives and programs and proposals which sometimes look each one individually in their domain looks important, but when they all come together, they actually have had a transformational impact on this country. So if one thinks about it, improving the ease of doing business, changing the ease of living, which is in many ways a sort of a de-bureaucratization of the system, improving the infrastructure through the Gati Shakti initiative, encouraging manufacture through Make in India and the Atmanirbhar Bharat outlook, offering incentives, the production-linked incentives, creating better human resources through skilling and vocational training, changing the mindset through a startup and innovation culture, and then multiplying its impact through a digital public infrastructure. If you put this all together, this is actually, in a way, the new India in the making, and probably there's no better place to see this than in the state of Gujarat. So it is certainly a fantastic economic opportunity, a great business networking session, but I would also, in a way, recommend it to you all as a forum, a one-stop shop, if you will, really to evaluate all the changes that have taken place in India. And those changes today are visible in the fact that against tremendous economic headwinds which the world is facing today, that this country is still confident of posting a 7% rate of growth. Now, I would like to place this whole event, in a sense, from the perspective of the foreign partners who will be visiting Vibrant Gujarat. So what is the world that you are all looking at? What are the concerns about the international economy, and what are the solutions? What is the attraction really of Vibrant Gujarat for you? I think in many ways the world is today searching for additional engines of growth. That many assumptions that we have long held for multiple decades may no longer hold true. So there is a need for really more production, greater production, more diversified production. And these really today are part of de-risking the global economy, but also re-globalizing in a way, where the production, manufacturing, consumption, services, connectivity are all spread in a much more broad and diverse way than they have been in the past. So it is, in a way, addressing the challenge of over-concentration, a challenge whose risks we saw during the COVID. And there is a strong realization in the world today that if one part of the world shuts down, for whatever reason, it could have been a pandemic, tomorrow it could be a climate event, that other parts of the world must be there to keep the global economy going. And today India can make a big difference there. And when we speak about India, as I said, Gujarat is seen in many ways as the leader of an India that is making a greater contribution. So it comes down, particularly in the manufacturing world, to building more reliable and resilient supply chains. It comes down in the digital world to have production centers which are more trusted, which are more transparent. And if one looks at it from the point of view of connectivity, we just recently had the G20 summit. And one of the important side events in the G20 summit was an understanding, an agreement for the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. And that corridor, the India end of it, is the state of Gujarat. So if you look at what is today probably the most talked about connectivity initiative, Gujarat is connected with it. But there's an older one, the International North-South Transport Corridor. And that too is now getting a greater impetus. Here too, the interface, the takeoff point from India is the western shores of India, particularly Gujarat and the ports of Gujarat. If one looks at another initiative we started 2 years ago called I2U2, here again the energy, the hybrid energy parks that are envisaged, the food parks that are envisaged, we are looking at the state of Gujarat. There are many other initiatives today in the works. The Indo-Pacific Economic Forum has progressing. People have great expectations of it by the end of this year. There are efforts underway to address critical and emerging technologies, particularly how to expand semiconductor and chips production. Prime Minister was recently in the United States, and much of the technology takeaways related to this domain. And the first project again, which started as a consequence of that, was a Micron plant. That too was in Gujarat. So by now you would have guessed it. My point to you is that maybe not all roads, but many roads lead to Gujarat, and they are certainly the most productive roads. These are roads worth for all of you to explore. And Gujarat is also the state that faces the Gulf. It is a state that faces Africa, has a long tradition of relationship with both these regions. And these are really regions today to which India is paying greater economic attention. And we are among the top trade and investment and I would say exchange people, mobility partners of these regions. Now, having said that, you would have also noted from the presentation that many of the new initiatives which are changing this country's economy are unfolding in Gujarat. We could be talking electric vehicles, we could be talking aviation. I spoke about semiconductors. So if one assumes that there is an interest in the world today in knowledge-based industries. A lot of that today is centering around Gujarat. But this event, and I'm sure those of you who have attended it before will completely agree with me, I think it offers today a tremendous opportunity for networking, for sharing of experiences and best practices. In a way, it is an occasion really to update yourself on India. Because if one looks at the changes in India, India is today a laboratory, it's also a demonstration, it is also a scaling up, all at the same time. India is today pioneering changes. You have, it could be the 5G stack, it could be the UPI, or it could be the CoWIN platform. The term we use for G20, that getting India world ready and getting world India ready, if you want to see that term really in action, I think there's no better place than Vibrant Gujarat. So I look forward to joining the Chief Minister in welcoming you all next January when you are there. Once again, thank you for coming here today. And do encourage as much business from your respective countries to be there. We are counting on you. Thank you very much.